Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. It's a great day because we got 3 bills passed. And everybody's been talking about this, and it's a pretty major story. The Genius Act was passed. Now, if you aren't familiar with this one, this is all having to do with stablecoins and regulatory stablecoin framework for asset innovators, which would be all the different companies that are building, or excuse me, blockchains that are building on top for stablecoins. Think USDC, think Tether, think Ethereum, think Solana, think layer 2s, think a whole bunch of different places. So the Genius Act is actually going forward, and it is passed. Also, and I found this very odd. If you take a look at the on passage, the yays and the nays, Republicans for the Genius Act, there was 206 Republicans. Now, this is the House of Representatives, not the Senate. The House, of course, is many more. If you're not from the United States, Senate has 2 senators per state. We have 50, so roughly 100. And over here, the yays for Republicans was 206, Democrat was 102, the nays were 110. It was still a pretty big landslide victory for the Genius Act for stablecoin regulations. This is great. I just kind of would like to know why 110 Democrats say, you know what, we don't want this. This doesn't make any sense. But yet, roughly half of them split. And then for the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, I don't know why any Democrat would vote against passing this resolution, which is essentially saying, like, look, we don't want central bank digital currencies. We don't want them to spy on the American public. And all Democrats, except for 2, voted against it. I don't understand this one. But maybe some people in the comment section can shed light on this. But Republicans were all lock, style, and file, and they said, yes, we definitely want this one. So that was also a win. And lastly, the Clarity Act. I'm just going to essentially give clarity to the blockchain regulations and just to see what is supposed to be for all the digital assets and the companies that are in the United States, and give us a little bit of clarity and regulatory framework so we can go forward. Gary Gensler and the prior administration did a horrible job of doing that. And in this one, again, you can see that Republicans 216, Democrats were more than came out for the CBDC, so I understand. I'm just curious why the 134 said no. I just found it interesting. So these are 3 big wins. This is why the market's going to rip. This is great. However, there's some things we have to clarify. First of all, there's been some misinformation going around where it says that because of the Clarity Act, that because of the maturity, as it's laid out for Clarity, that means that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano are a lock stock for maturity. First of all, that's not true. It's true that, yes, they could come under the guidelines, but it is untrue that it is listed in the bill itself. So if you see this Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, don't think like, oh, I have to get in Cardano or I have to get in Ethereum because this is what it says in the bill. What the bill talks about is the reasons why this will be mature, and it talks about aspects of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, but it doesn't specifically name them. So let's just make that clear. So while the Act doesn't publish a list of specific cryptos by name, analysis of public commentary and legal reviews indicate that networks which exhibit decentralized control and robust open participation are considered likely mature, which I can see that, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. And when I saw this, I'm like, what about all the rest? What about like Litecoin and Monero and all the different things? I'm like, that's pretty decentralized, but it wasn't put in there specifically, just because whoever was writing up these different posts and different things, they only put those 3 in there. But based on a detailed review using the precise definition of the Clarity Act, the following major blockchains network could potentially qualify as mature: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Dogecoin, Tezos, and Cosmos. And the whole thing it comes down to is this. The standard is this: no person or organization. And when I read this, I want you to think about your favorite altcoin. And I know you have one, so don't lie to me. But think about it like this. Your altcoin, is there no person or organization that exercises central control? Is the governance decentralized and community-driven? Does the system, has it been operating reliably and transparently? If it is, then maybe this will pass. However, it does state networks like DOT, Solana, BNB Chain, Cardano, Avalanche says potentially might not meet this maturity criteria. So the key points are this: No central control, decentralized, open source code, broad participation, stable, reliable network performance. If you have all those things, then great. This is definitely what it is. So on top of that good news, here's some other things that's going to bring in a bunch of money into the market and probably pump our bags like crazy. Donald Trump sets to open U.S. retirement market to crypto investments. And what he's talking about is 401ks that are in the United States. And I thought to myself, well, as far as 401ks, what do we have and what is the assets under management? So based on the most recent data, 401k plans in the United States hold almost $9 trillion in assets as of September 30, 2024. I can't get any more current information than that, but imagine $9 trillion coming in. That's great. We'll see if it does, but not all $9 trillion is going to go and just go, hey, let's just get rid of these, the different aspects of our 401k, the different equities that are in there and bonds. Let's just throw that away and go all crypto. That's not going to happen. But you do have another avenue or a road to bring more liquidity into our market, and that is a good thing. And lastly, I will remind everybody, today the 17th, man, time's really moving fast. Is it? Oh my God, it is. Jobless claims. This just came out this morning. I know people haven't really been talking about this because they've been talking about the bill like crazy. But as far as the expectations, it was jobless claims were supposed to be 234,000. Previously, it was 228,000. And as of, well, last week or 2 weeks ago, it was 221,000. Not too bad. And this is the big one. U.S. retail sales. Previous was negative 0.9 because I guess people were freaked out about tariffs, bad things happening, market collapsing, doomsayers, and all that stuff. The expectation was a modest 0.2. And as far as retail sales, we're at 0.6%. So people aren't that concerned. They're still spending money. Then retail sales minus autos, last time was negative 0.2. We thought 0.3. People are still buying cars, 0.5%. And then import price index, negative 0.4. Now it's 0.1. So the economy is looking pretty good. There's a bit of a slight inflation coming in. And I actually just saw that there was over $100 billion taken in by tariffs. So we'll see what happens on August 1st when those go into effect. Who's going to be right? Is it going to be the Trump administration? Or is it going to be Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve saying this is going to be the biggest disaster of all time? We will see when those go into effect August. But then, of course, you might have to take another month or two to go for that. So what did the markets do? Nothing. Nah, just kidding. Markets did great today. It looks like Bitcoin was kind of like a laggard, only up 0.6%. But look at everything else. Ethereum up 4.4%. XRP. I would like to congratulate the XRP army personally for sticking with it and coming through. Did you know that XRP as of today just hit its all-time high? Whatever, I think it was like $3.46. XRP hit its all-time high. I don't know what your altcoin is. My top altcoin is not XRP, I'll tell you that. And it has not performed as well as XRP has. So congratulations. BNB's up 1 point. That's trash. Solana up 3%. Dogecoin. Cardano was up 11%. Hey, that's pretty good. Tron, that's one of my other ones, 2.4. Stellar, 14%. Great for you guys. Oh, and one of my favorites, Sui is down 0.2. That sucks. Chainlink is up 10% finally. And look at Hedera, 26%, 26.2% in 24 hours. Probably the big talk of the bank integration. So these are looking pretty good. I like what I see. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And lastly, before we do a little Q&A, I teased this yesterday, and I said that the exchanges are robbing you of crypto wealth. And the reason why they're doing that is because of the spreads. And these spreads, as I've come to find out, I took a look at Binance. Look at this. Look at this. When you buy it, this was yesterday at 7:29 a.m. When you buy Ethereum, they list it at $3,260. But when you sell it, they list Ethereum at $3,013. And I might make you notice that this is at the same exact minute because I was going back and forth very quickly. So if you're selling at a lower amount, that's the spread. They're screwing you. Coinbase also doing this, 120,000 and 118. buys and sells. Crypto.com, buying crypto at Bitcoin at 120,000, but you can sell it at 117,000 for the basic trade. And then also my favorite, Kraken, is doing the same thing. 120,000 to buy it, and you get it at 118,000. And you'll notice that it's like a minute apart, so not too bad. So here's what I'm going to have everybody do. If you want to sell any of your crypto, you got options. You can put it on a decentralized exchange and then put it into a USDC or Tether if you really want to go that route, or just open up advanced options. So at Binance, it's very simple. When you go to the app, see in the bottom left-hand right here where it says Markets, you click on Markets, and it's going to say Light and Advanced. You go to Advanced, you click on Buy, Sell, Trade. You click Sell. You can do Market Order, which is what the price is at that exact moment, or you can do a limit order where you say, you know what, I know it says 119,100, but I want to sell it at 120,000. Just put it in, and you sell Bitcoin. You don't have to deal with the spread. Coinbase, you go to the app, click on those three bars where it's your account, like I have here. Click on Advanced, click Sell. Again, you get limit or market. But then I want you to notice something. Coinbase still screws you, because when you do that, even in Advanced, they stick you with this fee. The fee was $29.72. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know where that came from, but I guess even if I'm on Advanced, I still got to pay fees on Coinbase. That's why they're my least favorite exchange. And if you look at Crypto.com or Kraken, just know that it's not in the app. You have to download their advanced crypto trading app. Crypto.com has it. Kraken also has it. And when you go into Kraken, you click on that bottom left-hand corner, you click Sell. The amount of the Bitcoin, whatever you're trying to sell, whatever, and then when I did this, it was at 120,000 even, which is pretty scary. I was like, that's pretty interesting. And then when I sold it, it knocked off $1. I think it was probably, I was doing it within like 30 seconds. So I sold it at 119,999. I'm like, oh, cool. There's no spread because I'm in the advanced option. But then there was this. I was like, hey, what's this? It's estimated trading fee, 0.000004. Well, what is that? Well, 0.00004 Bitcoin is 48 cents. It's like, that's not too bad. So look, you can do that. You can do decentralized exchanges and put it into a stable coin. If I went too fast for you, I apologize. What I did is I linked that entire presentation in the description of this video. So you can go through that. And if you use Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, or Kraken, you can figure that out, how you don't get screwed by the exchanges. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We talk about it's time sensitive. I would like to keep this within 13 minutes, 14 minutes, but I think we're going to go over. So let's do a little Q&A and go from there. Press says, hope all is well. OTCD's nuts. I'm not mature enough to not laugh at that. That's funny. Let's see. Mr. T says, I love how all the S-coiners coming out like they didn't learn their lesson the past 3 years. There's no second best. And you know, talking to my friend Jared, and he had a good point. He goes, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, but I buy altcoins. And he goes, and every time I say that, people like, you're not a Bitcoin maximalist. He goes, but, and he had a good point. He said, but I trade these altcoins. I know they're going to go up exponentially more, so I can sell them and buy more Bitcoin. I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. But some people just don't like, let's see. Doge is trash. Here we go. All global finance will go with your quants. Oh, I can see that. Tim Allowance, when's your bedtime? Whenever my eyes shut. Quant is dead. Yeah. Where's the social risk, Rob? Good question. You know, I was curious about that because I have noticed that some of my views are going up and I see other people going up. And what he's talking about is there's this great website, links in the description, into the Cryptoverse. And what we're looking at is the crypto risk indicators. Ooh, look at that. And this one called social metrics. And usually it's been dead as a doorknob, 0.000. But now we're at zero. We're just about 0.1. Watch out. And what is that? That's subscribers, YouTube subscribers, views, Twitter followers, and views, and such and so forth. And I will remind you that it's a pretty good indicator because look at this. See when everything was blown up? Remember 17th November 2021? That was a good times. How about 2017? Ooh, those are really good times. Look at that. And then in 2013, the same thing happened, but they weren't checking social metrics. So definitely if you're looking for like an indicator, that's a pretty good one. Anyhow, good question. Bet you do okay. What's the risk level of Bitcoin? It's like 0.6. It's not too bad. When the viewers go up, the market goes up. Also true. Bet you do okay. What is Bobby buying? Bobby's buying everything he can get his grubby, disgusting, filthy hands on, and then he's going to dump it on everybody. So, but he's doing just fine. Let's see. You're welcome to Smith. Thank you. Cardano, best altcoin. I do like Cardano. And I will say they did the best out of every single crypto out there. They did the best for staking. It's hands down the most fantastic. Let's see. XRP did not hit an all-time high. Interesting. Let me take a look. XRP. Well, you're incorrect because the all-time high was July 18th, 2025 at $3.64. So let's see. Let me go back. Let me max out. And you were close at $3.40, but today it did hit $3.84. So nice try, but incorrect. Okay. That was 384. Yeah, 384. All kind of things. I guess no altcoins ever sui. I think it'll be just fine. I think we've been ripping for the last 30 days or so. I think it's good. And that's it. So look, that's it for today. I want to keep this short and concise. So thanks much, everybody, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Again, links in the description for everything we talked about today. Have a great night. Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one, which will be mañana.